Sooner Nation, welcome to the Sooner Surge for instant reaction to the softball game OU versus Louisiana, where Hunter, all good things must come to an end, and it has come to an end. The Sooner win streak, 71 games, is where it falls, and it's one that will probably never be caught in the future of women's softball. Before we even get into maybe the details of this game, let's call it for what it is. 71 games in a row is unheard of, and I think what today even shows more of, Hunter, is how great that win streak was and how difficult it was.
Yeah. First thoughts of just wow. I mean, shocked. Just when you thought, you had the feeling the whole game. Kelly Maxwell struggled early on. Okay, this might be it. And then they pull you back in. The Sooner magic moment in the seventh after all the errors made.
Yeah, it's
just not able to get it done in the eighth inning. You get a second chance at life. And, there was only one got ruled as an error, but there was a lot of
more
mistakes, that just weren't ruled as errors.
They only had 3 errors, but there seemed like more than that. But hey, first off, this is a horrible take to call this team average. That's a bad take. This is still the best team in America, so let's not call them average. They beat themselves today, period, bar none. No doubt about it. They're going to say that. But do not call this team average. That's in my opinion, a very bad take.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe I'll be proven wrong this year, but I like what Christy Campos said, Hunter, that there's that pressure a little bit where you almost, in a way, when this is over, they may play more free. I don't know.
Jerm, this is from Colin. You think they stay at number one? Because I do. I don't think they move.
Florida State lost again today. All these other teams are losing.
Yeah, Texas
haven't played well all season. They've got like half of their wins are run rules. Like I'm unbelievable.
Yeah, they've run ruled, I think, in 10.
What do you call? Hey, what Jay Johnson call yesterday, Hunter?
He was saying that this team's average, that they're no good, and that
they played bad today, Hunter, but they're not average.
And they've gotten lucky. They lost.
They're the best team in America still, and they're going to win a fourth natty.
I was talking about it yesterday. Like, I think someone asked when is their next chance for that they could possibly lose. I was like, I don't know. It's so hard to pick for them because they find ways to win. Today they did not. Even though they got themselves back into it, they just continued to make.
They nearly did.
And that was one thing that was shocking to me is Brito had that error in the eighth inning. Keeney unable to glove it. So T.R.A. Jennings calls in the infield for a meeting. And then right after, Jennings unable to glove it. Run scores. And then another one where Jennings unable to glove it in time. It's just uncharacteristic errors. You don't see this team make errors. They did. Offensively,
they beat themselves. They're not an average team, Hunter.
Dana Coleman took off early. Review called out. That was a big moment in the game. Kinsey Hansen caught no man's land on a throw out, picked off in a pickle, and then the whole Ella Parker situation. That was just a bizarre situation. It's an avoidable thing, but it happened, and they beat themselves today, plain and simple. OU beat themselves. And hats off to Louisiana. They played really good. It's impressive to be able to come out swinging the way they did in the eighth inning after just 2 errors on one play to keep the game going in the bottom.
Yeah. Well, Lions, I'll give you that, Jay Johnson. They missed Lions on defense for sure. I'll give you that. That's a good take. I would have liked to have seen SJ too, but the people on here that are saying this team isn't near as good as Mr. Beard, you're a homer. My name's Jeremy, first of all. Okay, and It's ridiculous. The team's won 71 straight softball games. You're calling him average. First off, someone else said something about in Mexico. They played Duke and Washington, two really, really good teams, and beat them.
Yeah, those are
Now,
two.
if you want to say pitching is struggling, I'm okay with. To say the pitching isn't any good, you're wrong. Kelly Maxwell was one of the best pitchers in the nation, and Carly Keeney pitched really well, had no help behind her. Carly Keeney pitched really well. And don't call me a homer, please, because I'm not one. I'm saying facts about how this team is. They're still what? If you want to say they're above average, to call them average, you're ridiculous.
Hey,
you're ridiculous to call them average.
If they've only played 4 good teams, I mean, what are you saying about everyone else other than the mid majors that are scheduling?
Everyone's losing
schedules. Yeah, exactly.
All teams are losing. So where's OU at?
College softball has been it's been interesting this year. There's really OU has been the clear-cut number 1, and everyone else has dropped a lot of games that they shouldn't have. And then today, OU, they lost. I was shocked to see Kelly Maxwell. Yesterday she gave up 3 runs in the 5th inning, sorry, to close out that game against Liberty. Think, okay, that's just get it out of her system, be able to bounce back. And then today just continued to have a rocky outing for Maxwell.
I agree with Hero in one sense here is all that matters is winning the national title. This streak didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I hate losing as a fan. Maybe there will be some relief. This team obviously faces and embraces pressure. Sooner fan, I can say about this year's games that they've had some games where they didn't play great and they still won them. Today, they weren't able to get it done. It was bad. But Sooner fan, actually go back to last year's team. If you look at the first 17 games, they're about the same or a little ahead of last year's on several categories. And no one called last year's team average, okay?
Yeah, I think it's the average talk is just
it's dumb.
I did not expect to get on here, and I know fans are going to be emotional, but I did not expect to hear average talk. Because,
if anything, celebrate what they did. They won 71 straight games.
71 straight games, and I mean last year when they lost to Baylor, I mean that was just a streak of dominance following it. I would expect something similar following this loss today.
It's not like the players thought it was doom and gloom afterwards. They know the big picture here. Now, did you want to win? Absolutely. And nearly did. And if we're going to, look, Johnson, I'm not going to call myself a homer. Maybe I am biased in some ways. I'm a fan. But I am basing this on facts of this year. Go look at the stats. Go look at everything from this year compared to last year, 17, 19 games in, whatever. It's pretty similar. To say this team is average and then not call last year's team average, if you're going to say this year's team's average, then you better say last year's team was average. That's all I'm saying. Texas lost this year, bud.
It's too early.
It is.
Say that. Oklahoma lost today. That's fact. It happened. To say that it's gonna be ugly down in Austin, I wouldn't say that just yet. Texas is a really good team, in my opinion. They're the best team in the country, clearly so. They've lost some games, but they are a very good softball team, and that series is going to be interesting, yes. But I wouldn't say that it's going to get ugly. And Christy, you're exactly right. Losing is part of the game. The streak was bound to end at some point. It's so hard in a sport like softball to win night in, night out. Oklahoma did that for 71 straight games. It's unbelievable. And now the streak's over.
They're uncharacteristically bad when it mattered today, especially on the defensive side. Jennings had 2 errors in the 8th inning. Brito could have been given one.
Didn't rule them as errors, but those are plays that T.R.A. Jennings normally makes.
I agree, Hunter. I'm just saying, OU didn't make the plays when they needed to.
Did not.
That's a fact. I'm not going to call this team average. I think, okay, Johnson, focus on this year. I've seen every game. So have I. I have the right to you do have the right to your opinion. OU football won't go 7-5. And You may be the only. There may be others on here, Johnson, but if you're going to sit here and call this team average, then I guess an average team is the best in America. Do you want to say that? Is an average team the best team in America? Because this OU softball team is still the best in America.
Yeah, we'll
I
see.
agree, Stubby. I'm mad the streak's over. I thought they'd get to 100, but come on. A national title, no team's ever won 4 straight. I promise you OU's going to be in the mix in the end.
Yeah,
and maybe they're an average team, though.
It would have been really cool to see them break the UConn record for all of NCAA, 111 games. But, I mean, it's
base running killed them, too.
It is so hard to win every single game. And, yeah, the base running today, that was – I mean, Patty looked just in absolute disbelief when Kinsey got caught in no man's land, pickle, and thrown out. Unable to get out of it. I just could not believe it because they do not make mistakes like that. They don't make base running mistakes, and they did today. Hunter,
you might have some stats in front of you. The inconsistency talk this year. I mean, out of the 18-1 is where OU sits right now. Is that correct? I believe they're 18. Out of those 19 games, how many of those are run rules? 8 or 9?
I believe it's 8.
8 or 9. So almost half their wins are run rules. They've beaten Duke, Washington. That's good competition. This Louisiana Lafayette team wasn't great, but I think they had top 25 votes. I don't know. I think that to sit here and question the consistency, have they had a couple of bad games? Yes, they have. That happens when you play, 90 to 100 a year. Come on, guys. Do baseball teams that play 162 games have struggles?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, are there some things they need to work out? Yes. I'll say this. I would like to see a little more Monticelli.
I was a little shocked.
Garrett more. They got to figure out where they're going to use those. But to sit here and Johnson, you can have your opinion. You can say they're average. Don't call me a homer, though. Just because I'm saying that this team is not average, that they're really good, don't call me a homer. And the Love Field thing, I'll say this weekend is almost one you got to – this whole weekend was something that's been looking forward to for 3 years.
Yeah. It's hard for a team to play at their home stadium. And the first time they walked out on it ever was Friday morning for that game at 2:00. That's not normal. And yeah, they got to get used to Love's Field, and I think they will. They lost. That sucks. But to say this team is in serious trouble, I think it's way too early to say.
Sooner fan.
No one's saying they're used to Love's Field. They were in the same position. It's fact that they did not play on that field before Friday. Same thing in Louisiana. They didn't play on that field till yesterday. Then today they came out and beat Oklahoma. They took advantage of errors that Oklahoma made that they don't normally make. And hats off to them. They played a great game today.
Yeah, but hey, the other thing is, regardless of where the game is played, when a team has won 71 straight and you have a chance to end it, you're going to get you're playing with house money. It's nothing to lose.
Like on Friday,
I'm not making excuses either.
Hey,
what's up, Jay?
What's up, guys? I had
talk to us about this average softball team, as fans are calling it.
Hey, this is ridiculous. The thing average, but this is Jeremy. Why before the season I picked them to lose 2 games. I said earlier, it was going to be Wisconsin. You can't win every game. 71's unreal. There's going to be games where you play like this and you have errors. It's inevitable. In fact, the game even going extra innings was unbelievable. They should have lost in 7.
Yeah, they should have.
Okay? And the other day against Miami, Ohio, very well could have lost that game. Now, if you want to say Oklahoma's not playing on all cylinders right now, yes. But to say they're an average team, no, you're dead wrong.
Yeah, look, they play. They're going to go in the post-game presser, and they're going to talk about how they blew the game. Now, that doesn't take away from what Louisiana Lafayette did.
What
Okay,
was the final? What was the final on Texas? Because they were struggling with Hofstra. So
it's not that. OU's very disappointed in how they lost today, I'm sure, but it's still part of the big process of the big picture going for 4 natties in a row. No one will ever touch this streak, as Trey Moss says. It's not going to be touched unless OU does it again.
Texas ended up winning 4-0 against Hofstra. They were tied, I think, 0-0 for 5 in that one.
And Sooner fan, I agree they're not playing good.
No one said they played great.
And I still do not think, I mean, the pitching this series was not good. I mean, this weekend was not good.
No, it's the worst it's been all
in
year.
a long time.
By far, yeah, in a very long time. Usually, you're not giving up more than 3 runs, and they did that twice this weekend.
Hey, to be honest, I mean, this team's probably, I don't know if I should want to say it like this, but getting this 71-game win streak snapped won't be a bad thing in the long run.
I agree with you.
I agree.
I mean, you cannot keep winning.
Yeah, last year they lost to Baylor, got bumped down to number 2 team in the country. That following weekend, played the number 1 team in the country, UCLA, won 15-0. I mean, it worked in the long run when that streak came to an end last year.
Blessing in disguise, as CJ Bunker 80 says.
The reality is,
yep, Damon, you're right.
The reality is that's the worst defensive performance I've seen in a long time from Oklahoma.
Yeah, it was the seniors making mistakes.
It was
the best fielders on the team, and just unable to make plays that they make consistently.
We realize, guys, that this is 3 of the 6 pitchers on this staff are pretty much brand new this year. This is a working 4 actually to OU because Kelly Maxwell. You got 4 you're working in. To me, it's a work in progress, but OU's got the best coaching staff. They got the best players. Listen, if they have the best players and the best staff, there's no chance they're not the best in the nation. They're the best in the nation. The seniors did not play well on defense, especially middle infield, left side of the infield, all that. And they lost the game. And guess what? When you make mistakes, there's consequences, guys. OU's just been able to overcome those in the past, and today they almost did. If Jada Coleman hits a bomb there, we're saying how unreal it is, but the fact is they didn't play well, okay? They didn't play well.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you want me to say. That's not a homer talk.
Yeah.
But this team is still the best in the country and will likely be in the final in the World Series going for a 4th natty.
Hey, yeah. I will say this. I agree with everything you just said. They didn't play well. I think the jury may still be out on in the postseason when the game's on the line. Do you have a Jordy Ball? I don't think you do.
Well, Jordy Ball was 1 of 1.
I know. I think Maxwell's really good. I just think there could be games where maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think this is all chalked up to they played bad, and this could happen again, guys. I don't think I said before the season. I think 2 losses. I'm going to stick with it. I just don't think in softball what they were doing over the last year and a half or what 71 wins it's untouchable. It will not be touched again, maybe ever, for a very, very, very long time, maybe ever. It's very hard to do what they just did. I think we need to recognize that as fans. That was unbelievable streak that they were on, and give also kudos to the teams lately that have been giving them a run for their money. Teams like Miami of Ohio, teams like Louisiana, who, guys, they're not scared of OU.
Hey, Jay, Sooners fan just says that maybe the hunger's not there after 3 in a row. That is ridiculous. Just ask the seniors if the hunger's there.
No. Hey, Jeremy.
Wait, time out, Jay. To question if they care to win and to keep wanting to win, I think that's kind of ridiculous. Not kind of, it is. Second of all, Johnson, agree with I never said the pitching was elite today. Maxwell wasn't great today. Errors were made. It doesn't mean they're average. Hey, that can both be right.
Yeah, you can say the pitching has not been to what it normally is, and disagree with calling the team average. Those both can coexist.
And Rob is
Yeah, but
right.
I
You
think
get every team's best.
I think what Sooner fan was trying to say about the focus and then the passion
Hunger.
I think the hunger. I think what he's saying is that after 3 in a row, it would be very hard for me as a player to have that. It would be. I'm sorry, I'll admit it. And I would think when you're playing a team like Louisiana, it probably is hard to be as
I don't
focused.
think this team is like that.
No
but
one's ever won 4 in a row, Hunter. Ever.
Hunter, listen, you cannot.
Exactly.
You can't tell me that 71 games in a row you're up for every game the same amount. You're not.
Well, I'm not going to ever question that, Jade. No team's ever won 4 in a row. OU wants to be the first.
I don't know. I wouldn't call it a thing of they don't have hunger anymore.
I
didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I think they want to win every single game. And
yes, come on.
They made mistakes.
Nobody said that.
They lost. Like
on the chat we're referring to.
I don't think it should be a questioning of do they have the hunger to win another national championship or not. They made mistakes today, and they lost because of it. It's the first time in 72 games that they were not able to overcome mistakes that they made over the course of those 71 games that they won in a row.
Mistakes have consequences. In the end, Clark D is right. Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much am I worried about this team? 0. How about that? 1 to 10, it's 0. There's no concern on if this team has what it takes. This team does have what it takes, and they'll be there. That doesn't make me a homer. I'm basing it on facts. Best players, best staff, progress moving forward, all those.
Okay, but I think 0 would be – I think there is probably some concerns with this team, though. Not concerns that say they won't win a national championship, but I think you do have to admit that there are some concerns that they're struggling at right now. Would you admit that?
I would say I'm not sure there's concerns. They didn't play well. They made errors today. Like most of those plays they usually make. I don't know why.
I don't think you can say there's concerns until you see the next game, and if those errors are still being made, okay, then yeah, it's time to say.
Hey, do you think Patty's not telling them that they're not playing well and it's not good right now? Do you think
she absolutely is, Jay? No one said they're playing good today.
So if she can say that, why can't a fan say that? It's not.
Didn't they run rule 2 run rules like 16-0 total yesterday?
Yes.
No one called them concerned yesterday. They played bad today, guys.
I think the difference is, you look at even the weekend, I think the Miami game wasn't pretty either.
No, that game wasn't. But that was the first game in the new stadium. Some of that, like, whatever. I'm going to take some of that with a grain of salt. Yesterday, they run ruled both teams, had the bats going, pitched pretty well for the most part, outside of Kelly Maxwell coming in late and allowing those, I believe.
And Sean's to 21. This is a great comment, and I think everybody should read this comment and listen to it. I think it's dead on. Nobody, us as fans, will never know the amount of pressure they've been under. And they can say we're not. They can say we don't think about the streak. You 100% have to think about the streak when you've won 71 straight games. Anybody I talk to in passing, and we talk about OU softball, they say, man, 71 straight. Everybody knows the streak. The players know it. That's what's been so impressive for them to keep winning, even in tight games. They almost did it today. Somehow, off a bad effort, they almost won that game today. They didn't. Now move on. It's time to move on. Turn the page. Start a new streak. Go dominate.
Hey, I got to say one thing here, Hunter J. Anyone who says concerned, average, then what you are basically saying is go to last year's team, the best team in the history of women's softball. Fact or not?
Yeah, it was. 6-1 best record.
Okay, so last year's was a fact. Best team in the history of softball. All they lost was Jordy Ball. Every one of those seniors are back. You can't say in the same sentence last year's team was the best in America and this year's team is average or has concerns. They have 7 of the 9 hitters back.
I agree with that, but I will say losing Jordy Ball is, I mean, that's an irreplaceable piece that they lost. And they're trying to piece it back together with the 3 pitchers they brought in from the portal. But Jordy Ball was, that comment.
Hey,
I'm sure it's the exact same. Van's act
yeah.
like that after a loss. I mean, history was broken today. It is what it is. I mean, I've said it a lot. OU set the record last year with 61-1. That was the record. To go 62-0, come on. Like, that is so hard to do. Oklahoma, they made errors today, and it finally caught up to them that they weren't able to pull through with all those mistakes.
Yeah, and Jeremy, you're right. Nobody did talk about it after the Baylor game, and here's why. They were only on a streak of like probably whatever it was. The reason there's so much talk right now is, the reason is because they've won 71 straight. That's why everyone's saying.
Last year was like about 20 or so.
Yeah,
they lost
so
UCLA and then rolled them right after.
And by the way, everybody in this chat, I would love you to put in the comment how many wins you thought OU was going to get in a row. I had them losing earlier in the year. Jeremy had them 100. Did anybody think they were going undefeated this year?
I don't know, Jay. That's why I made the comment, because every one of those seniors that were juniors or seniors last year are now super seniors. You can't say they're average if they were elite last year. That's just a bad take. Now, they missed Grace Lyons at shortstop. Yes. Okay, they do. And they miss Ball when she pitches. But Nicole May was phenomenal last year. Her ERA was she was 18-0 last year, guys. Okay? Now, did they play great today? No. Never said they did. Didn't claim they played great today. Not going to say they did. That would be a homer if I said they played great and lost. I didn't say that.
That's one of the impressive things, is how close they were able to almost pull off the win with how bad they played in those 7 innings. I mean, they should have lost. I think Jay said it earlier. They should have lost in 7. They were able to pull off a miracle to get it to 8 and then just continued to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, all teams lose at some point. Dorita says this is not their best today in any capacity, but I fully expect that they will bounce back strong. Exactly, Dorita. Still my team and still the best team in the country. Not even close. They played badly today. Doesn't have any. This has no effect in winning a 4th national championship. 0. None. Zilch. Nada. That's a fact.
Yeah. National championship is not won in first weekend of March.
I am focusing on this year's team, Jay Johnson OU won. That's exactly what I'm focusing on.
I will say I was, and OU will stay number 1. You're right, Trey. But I think the most concerning part of today's game was when you tie the game up in the 7th and you come out there in the 8th and you have the same problems that you just had happen. That tells me one of 2 things. We know these ladies are uber talented, and the ones that made errors. At some point in a situation like that, it's either A, pressure, B, focus, right?
Yeah, and Hunter or Jay, maybe one of you can, because I can't right now, but this comment about, hey, I'd like to, just for my sake too. I am almost positive, Hunter, going into the Baylor game last year and going into this year's loss, that statistically it was about the same.
Yeah, I mean, some areas they're even better.
They're even better this year. To say that last year was more impressive,
I do think. I think it was because of Jordy Ball. Like, Jordy Ball was just such a shutdown pitcher. I think the team was a little better last year. And that's a player that is irreplaceable. Yeah. And again, it's March 3rd. They won 71 straight games up until today.
Yeah.
They lost. They're 18-1 right now. I don't know why everyone is hitting the panic button, saying that there's serious problems with this team. Until a losing streak starts, losses start piling up, series losses start to happen, then you can start saying, okay, there might be some serious concerns with this team, but they're 18-1
Yeah.
right now. They'll probably stay as the number 1 team in the country. Streaks are meant to be broken. They played bad today, and they lost because of it.
Hey, and I'm not going to blame the officials, but Sooner fan, I don't hate you. Says hate if you want. I'm not hating. I'm just saying that I'm not concerned yet. Like Hunter says, if losses start piling up, okay, then there's a concern. But no, I'm realistic. I'm not no panic, just being realistic.
Hey,
well, that is a panic if you're thinking this team's got serious issues. That's panic mode.
Hey, here's the reality of what's going to happen after this game. 2 things: either they're going to come out and they're going to maybe continue to have errors and play bad because maybe they're like, well, we're playing bad, we lost, whatever. We'll turn it on at the end of the year, which is not going to happen. The other thing will be they'll come out and totally look like a different team for the next 3 weeks. I think that's what's going to happen. But I do think if you were a player that's went back to back to back, you could easily go down that road of let's just turn it on at the end of the season. There's been teams do that. I don't think that's the case with this team.
I don't think Oklahoma is one of those teams.
I don't either.
I think there's just too much of a strive for excellence in that locker room that would never be allowed.
That's a great comment too, Seanstein.
Yeah, fans obviously overreact. There's a lot, and the only thing that matters really is what's going on in the locker room. And listen, I know what's going on. I'm not there, but I know probably what Patty Gasso is doing is saying, hey, first off, wow, what a run. Okay, what a run that you ladies just did. 71 straight. The new ones that are on the team, you carried it to 71. Excellent job. Now let's start a new one. Come on. That's what they're saying, guys. No one's saying doom and gloom down there.
Yeah, losses happen. They lost today. They played bad. Not much else really for me to say about it.
Yeah, kudos to the Louisiana pitcher. She was good, but OU still got to her. They just didn't. Base running mistakes killed them. A lot of things killed this team today, guys. They didn't play well. Did not play well. Fact. Are they still the best team? Yes, fact.
Rhea Seto, she threw over 130 pitches, started to get shaky a little bit at the end, but still able to close the door on Oklahoma. And that's hard to do. I mean, that is possibly the toughest thing to do for a pitcher in the sport, to shut down Oklahoma in the 8th inning when they still have a chance to tie it up or even win it.
Yeah, and
hey, real quick, hey,
prayers to the catcher. They had to carry her off, holding her up. Prayers to the catcher.
That was a great play made.
Great play. They made several plays up against the wall, Hunter. Yeah, they made plays.
There was one that left fielder made a play that I'm sure we'll see on SportsCenter tonight. I was impressed. It would have been a double and a leaping catch.
Hey, real quick, my last thing I'm going to say before I get off here is this. The biggest thing this loss does is it gives every single team you play the notion of Louisiana did it. We can do this. They're not unbeatable. They're not perfect. Oh, Louisiana just beat them. Miami took them to the end. This team's we can get them. And I think that's what's going to be in the college softball world. That's what most teams are going to be thinking is we can do this.
I think a lot of teams are already thinking that they could do it. Like, I think
if nobody did though, Hunter. Nobody did do it.
I agree with
that. But I mean, I think Miami, Ohio thought they were going to beat Oklahoma and that they could. They took them.
Yeah.
Bottom of the 7th.
I thought maybe with Maxwell, Gasso went a little long. With Carly Keeney just wasn't getting
really well.
Keeney pitched well, didn't get any help, and she hurt herself with that one right back to the pitcher. She didn't make that play, so she didn't do herself any favors. But I thought she still pitched pretty well. But Hunter,
I think we end it with this: losses are a part of learning.
Exactly.
Great comment by Colin. The streak was bound to end at some point. It's so hard to keep on winning. and they lost today. But
Yeah.
it's the end of the world. Oklahoma's still 18-1, still looks to be the best team in the country. It's not a time to hit the panic button whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll end it with this, Hunter. First off, kudos to Louisiana Lafayette. You did it. You ended the streak, ended it at 71, made great plays, had some great pitching, timely hitting, great job. But also major kudos to the University of Oklahoma. 71 straight wins, something that won't be touched in softball for years to come. Exactly. Start a new streak. The major goal that the Sooner women want is still in sight. It's 4 natties. This game in the end doesn't affect that one bit. Start a new streak, figure things out, keep getting better, and it's still a great day to be a Sooner. I'm very proud of this softball team and what they've done. And listen, kudos to the viewers on here. Look, I promise you, we are covering softball. We didn't just start covering softball when the win streak got to 50 or 60. We've been covering softball last year. We still do it. We're on here after a loss. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for commenting. Appreciate it. We'll agree to disagree with some of these, but let's keep it rolling and let's start a new streak. Sooner Nation, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, CJ, it was Louisiana beat Oklahoma today. Oklahoma
beat themselves too.
They did, but both happened. I'm not going to say, oh, they only lost because they beat themselves. No, Louisiana beat them. Plain and simple, Louisiana took advantage of the mistakes Oklahoma made to win that game, and that's what they did today.
Yeah. But, hey, in the end, 71 is so impressive.
Yeah, it's a streak I honestly don't think we'll see it again.
I don't either. Not with the parity. NIL parity.
Yeah, it's so hard to win that many games, and Oklahoma did it.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Sooner Nation. We'll be back tomorrow with some more Sooner softball content, and tonight we'll be on the live at 9:30 with Sooner Surge Double Trouble as always. Appreciate you all. Till next time, Boomer.